Welcome to the Telabs Optical LAN Softswitch Voice Series video, Profile Configuration. The purpose of this video is to provide instruction on the profiles used when configuring Softswitch activated ONTs and analog voice lines. The topics covered in this video will be an overview of the tconfig configuration profiles and instructions on using the equipment settings profile, the services profile, and the call features profile. Before ONT analog phone lines can be configured for Softswitch interaction, certain profiles need to be created. These profiles will establish phone line behaviors for the SIP agent on the ONT. This video will outline these profiles and highlight important parameters that need to be addressed. tconfig profiles are accessed by clicking on the tconfiguration application icon. Here, there are three profiles that need to be addressed: the equipment settings, services, and call features. The equipment settings profile is used to establish phone line behaviors for the ONT. The default profile establishes a US phone line service emulation using UDP transport for SIP. If the SIP interface needs to be encrypted, a profile can be created with TLS as the transport protocol and 5061 as the transport protocol port. The switch used for this needs to support TLS and have port 5061 open for encrypted SIP traffic. The next step is to create the service profile. The service profile establishes the relationship between the phone line and the Softswitch. There will need to be separate profiles for the 729GP versus other ONTs. The 729GP requires an outbound proxy for proper operation. The other ONTs cannot work with the outbound proxy specified. This leads to two profiles, one for the 729GP and one for the rest of the ONTs. For the ONT 131 and 142R, MLPP must be off. The outbound proxy address is also left blank. For the 729GP ONT, the outbound proxy is expressed like this. If MLPP is established on the 729GP, the outbound proxy needs to be set up differently in most cases. This is because most switches violate the RFC and do not send the SIP-S: scheme rather than the SIP: scheme. The addition of a hint for the transport lets the transport layer know to always use TLS transport even though the SIP: scheme is being used. Other fields may also need to be addressed. Local ports minimum is the lowest port number that will be selected for voice RTP flows. It is often necessary to constrain the ports used so that they can have pinholes opened in the firewall. If you don't need to pass through a firewall, just leave it blank. Local ports max is the highest port number that will be selected for voice RTP flows. The Enable RFC 2833 field controls whether the DTMF digits are sent via RFC 2833 messages or whether they are sent in-band in the PCM flow. Many PBXs want the DTMF digits sent as 2833 due to the codecs they allow or due to wanting to separately process the signaling from the RTP. Register URI is the IP address or host name of the switch. This is unique to your installation and must be entered. The call features profile identifies the digit plan for the phone line. This plan provides instructions for dialing behaviors such as dialing 9 for outside line or 4-digit station-to-station dialing. There are sample digit maps that can be loaded and manipulated to get the desired dial plan for the line. Other options of the call features profile include call waiting, call transfer and hold, caller ID, and three-way calling. These features are typically enabled. The message event URI setting varies by switch. If you need to subscribe for the message waiting light status, then you should enter SIP: and the IP of the switch. This will cause the ONT to subscribe for the message waiting indicator status. Typical message waiting mode is dial tone visual. This will enable the message waiting light and the stutter dial tone when messages are waiting. Hotline is a feature that will automatically dial a pre-programmed number when the phone is taken off hook. When ONTs with SIP agents are established, they'll be assigned an equipment settings profile by default. To activate the phone line, the services and call features profiles will need to be created and applied to each phone line. This process will be covered in the next video in the series. In this video, we have discussed an overview of the tconfig configuration profiles and instructions on using the equipment settings profile, the services profile, and the call features profile.